In the past couple of weeks, a handful of local restaurants shut their doors without a lot of explanation. Some are blaming financial issues, while others say it's just time to move on.
So what are professionals in the industry seeing? Right now, we are joined by Melissa Fleischut, President and CEO of the New York State Restaurant Association. Melissa, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
If you can paint the picture for us, what struggles is the industry seeing right now, specifically here in Western New York?
Well, it continues to be a very difficult time to run a restaurant. And, coming out of the pandemic, we've all been very hopeful that each year it's going to get slightly better. But we continue to face a lot of headwinds, such as rising food price costs. Price of beef is really high right now. We're seeing labor costs at record highs. Insurance is through the roof for our industry right now. So it continues to be a lot of pressure on cost and expenses in the industry. And information we received from the National Restaurant Association is showing 38% of restaurants said they were not profitable last year. So it's getting harder and harder to run a restaurant. Our owners and operators are working harder than ever before and making less money.
Some restaurants are choosing to pass those costs, if not all of them, on to their customers. That, of course, is the typical restaurant model. Some restaurants are maintaining that position and passing their costs, and their customers aren't willing to pay those increased costs. But is that the same story for the vast majority of restaurants out there, or do you see that as kind of a diamond in the rough, if you will?
Consumers are incredibly value conscious right now. We did see that there was a trend in consumer spending away from restaurants in November and December, which isn't always typical, but I believe that they were making choices to spend on retail and holiday presents and gifts and things like that instead of in the restaurant industry. And right now is always a quiet time for the industry, January into early February anyway. We hope it picks up with Super Bowl and Valentine's Day. But I don't think you see restaurants passing on all of the cost to their guests because they do tend to want to make sure that their guests keep coming back and that they are priced fairly in the marketplace so that they can continue to get those repeat customers.
I know a lot of restaurants have also struggled when it comes to hiring staff. Would you say that has improved since the days of the pandemic, or is that still a contributing factor?
It's definitely improving. Not all restaurants are struggling with staffing issues anymore. The one position that we continue to see greatest demand for is in our kitchen. So our prep cooks, our chefs, those types of positions are still the hardest to fill in the industry.
So, Melissa, where do we go from here? What is the association looking to do as far as improving that outcome, where a heck of a lot better than 38% of restaurants reporting no profit?
Yeah, so we're continuing to try and find new ways that we can help our members. We continue to add cost-saving programs that we run. There's a lot of things that we have available. Our workers' comp safety group is probably our most important benefit that we have for our members, and it returns dividends, which we just gave out in January. So we're very glad to be able to help our members with programs like that. Anything we can get through the legislature, like the Drinks to Go proposal, that'll continue to help boost their revenue. Those are the things that we're fighting for, and always to keep their costs down as much as possible.
All right, wonderful. Melissa Fleischut with the New York State Restaurant Association. That is all the time we have this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.